Okay, hello there guys, welcome back to our tutorial about developing a game using libGDX. This is the 8th tutorial I think, right? And from the previous in the previous video we added this texture in the background, and also we made this motion take into consideration the time of the game. So now we are going to start with a new thing. We are starting with adding sprites to the game, and the job of the sprite here, it is going to be a class, and its job is to update the motion of each spaceship or bullet, or something that's making changes on the screen. So let's get into it. To close this here, so the first thing I want to do here is go to the core project and into the Java part, and here I'm gonna add a Java class called sprite. There you go, and I will hit OK. There you go. So we have a sprite here, and it is a public member variable. Sorry, it's protection of this public, not a member variable. Sorry. Anyway, so here what are we gonna do? We are gonna define two public members. So we have public float x, okay, semicolon. So this represents the x axis of the sprite itself. Also we have public float y. This represents the y, and public float speed, semicolon. Here I'm gonna do a number of things here. So I'll have speed x, public float speed y, and in addition to that I will add something that not everyone uses, but float angle, so that we can rotate, or not we, but the enemies are gonna rotate. And then public float absolute speed. Okay, so we have x, y, speed x, speed y, angle, and also public integer use angle. This is going to be boolean. Why? Boolean use angle. Now use angle is going to be used to indicate or tell the sprite when it updates things that you want to change the x and y based on the angle and the absolute speed, not based on speed x and speed y. So this is very important. Yeah, so we have these variables. Just a habit, usually try to make the words, the first letter, a little bit more obvious, so that it's a little bit readable. Use angle. Okay, so we have these. Now the important part that we need in here is a method for updating the coordinates of our sprites. Okay, so here we are gonna say public void update. Okay, and what we need to do, I will pass float timestamp, time in second. Okay, so this is a float, we will take this into consideration. So what we need to do now is to update the x and y. So now we'll say if use angle, then x equals x plus math, I suppose. Yes, we will use the cosine of the angle, right? Divide this by 180 and multiply this by math.pi, okay, because the value need to be in radian. So now this represents the rotation angle, and we need to multiply this by absolute speed. Then we need to multiply this by time in second. Okay, so I'll just change the format of the statement to be like this. And as for the other one, this is going to be y equal math, instead of cosine we are going to use sine here. There you go. So we have cosine and sine, and we are updating things here. Else, now if we are not using the angle, this is going to be easy. So x plus equals absolute speed, multiply this, not absolute, sorry, this is going to be speed x multiplied by time in second. There you go. And y plus equals speed y, multiply this by time in second. There you go. So this way we finished everything that we need in here. Okay, in addition to this, we will need few other things, a method for example for rendering the sprite itself. So I'm gonna do the same trick here. Just a second, let me see this. What's this? Cannot resolve method sign double. What? Okay, so let me just make this 0.0. It is receiving double here, right? Why it does not recognize it? Wait a second, please. Math dot. Oh, it's a small. I'm very sorry about that. Yeah, for some reason I assumed it's capital. Okay, never mind that. Okay, so we have cosine sine. Okay, now this is done. Now let me go back to our thing here. Where's the input management? Where's the render? Yeah, so I'm gonna steal this one here, okay, and go to the sprite class, and I will paste this one. Okay, so let me see, render sprite. Okay, so I need a sprite batch. So if I call this method, what need to happen actually, this method need to be overridden. Okay, so what's happening is that I'm gonna override, inherit from this class and override this method, because each sprite has its own tiles. And this will make things a little bit easier for us. Okay, and yeah, so this is one thing. The other thing, let me add a few other things here. Okay, never mind. I think that will be it. So this is the first class, very straightforward. Okay, and now we will work on the player. So now the player will be, or your spaceship will be inherited from the sprite class. So now I will go back here and select a new Java class. This is gonna be player spaceship. Okay, There you go. So now player spaceship, I'm gonna hit OK, and now I will just say inherits, oops, okay, what the, yeah, bad English, I'm very sorry. I'll fix this later. Sprite. Okay, so what do we have here? Oh, extends. I think in C# it is inherit, or that's in VB. So I'm getting languages confused between C++, C#, Java, and yeah. So and Visual Basic. So all these keywords, I'm getting confused. Anyway, so you write extends and you get this one. So as soon as you do that, the player spaceship will have what? This is going to mean that this class are going to use the same members specified here, but we need few other things here. So I'm going to add them. So public this is going to be texture region, and this needs to be spaceship texture. There you go. Right, so yeah, now I am going to do the following. I'm going to create a constructor so that I could initialize things for the player himself. So this is going to be player spaceship. So what we need to say is this dot spaceship texture equal. So instead of worrying about the location of the spaceship, blah blah blah, I'll go to the constructor over here. Where is that? Where is it? Image. Okay, it's this one. img. So I'm gonna copy this and go to here. So okay, now the sprite sheet I need to get that from the G01 game dot sprite sheet. Okay, so I got that, and I finished the first thing. So this dot speed x equals 0, this dot speed y obviously equals 0, this dot what, use angle equals false. Okay, so we are not going to use the angle here, and I need to set the x and y. This dot x equals G01 game dot virtual width, divide this by 2, and subtract this dot space texture dot get region width, and divide this by 2 as well. Okay, so that I make sure that our spaceship appears in the middle of the screen. And this dot y equals, let me see, where did I put the, when I'm rendering this, where am I putting the spaceship? 50, it's here. Okay, render spaceship here, so that I don't forget, because I removed this line. So here there's going to be 50 semicolon, and I suppose that's it. So yeah, now the last thing I need to do is this public override, right? Oops, it's override. Come on. this is going to be what? The main method was what? Where's the sprite? Yeah, render. Void. This guy. There you go. Okay, I think I made a mistake here. How do I override things? I can't seem to remember. Anyway, I think it overrides it right away, so I'm not sure. Anyway, so all I have to do is sp.draw, right? And I just need to pass this dot spaceship texture, right? Spaceship texture followed by X followed by Y, and that should be it. Okay, so this is it right now. So this is initialization, this is for drawing. So now let me go to the game, and now I will use the sprite itself. So a few changes in the variables. So instead of image, I'm gonna say player spaceship. Okay, I'm gonna say player, right? And I don't need the image position here, nor the direction. Okay, I don't need these. So inside this part, after I prepare all these things, okay, I will just say player equals new player spaceship. So I create the object, so now it's initialized and everything looks fine. Now in the game, I will delay this part. So I will just comment it out. I just want to see if it renders correctly, and I will fix this in a second. So I start render the virtual display, clear the screen, right? So here, render background. Now I need to render the spaceship here of the player. So player dot render, right? Render sprite. There you go. And I need to pass the sprite batch. So it's batch here, and this should be it. If everything is fine, this should be it. Finally, render the buttons. Okay. Finished. Okay, that's it. So very straightforward. You render the background, you render the player, and now you render the button. So it's hopefully understandable. So let's see if this works. We should see our spaceship in the middle of the screen. Okay, so it is in the middle of the screen, but we cannot move it. So what am I gonna do now? Is the following. So here I'll do this. I will remove this comment part. Okay, so here I'm going to change this to if user input dot move left, then at that very point I will say player dot speed x equal 350. Okay, now if it is in the other direction, I will say player dot speed x equals minus 350. Otherwise, player dot speed x equals 0. That's it. And the last thing I need to do, so here I am updating the time, I'm updating the status. I will just say here player.update, right? What was the function name? Come on, it is update, right? Yes, public void. Okay, so here update. Okay, I need to pass the time here, so it is time span. Okay, so it's time second, time span. I just passed this, and now I should be able to, you know, move the player. Okay, so this one updates the player to move left or right. This one updates the input later on. So let's see, this works. Okay, so it seems that I set these in the wrong sign. All I need to do is just place a minus here and remove this sign here. So now let's run this. Okay, so very awesome. As you can see now, we have a sprite and we can actually render this without a problem. So now let's go to the next thing. We created our spaceship and now it is a sprite. So let us create an enemy very quickly. So in order to do that, let us first create, you know, update the sprite sheet that we have. So let me go here. Okay, let's go to DTMP and G01. Let me go to Android assets and let me run GIMP. Come on. It will just take a second, please. Bear with me. Okay, come on. Yeah, I'm not sure why GIMP's taking forever to do that. But we finished the first thing, which is, you know, having sprites. So this is okay. So now it will be much easier for us to add enemies. Okay. And right now the enemies I'm gonna add are, you know, stupid. They don't have algorithm that move them, but we will see how we could address that later on. So let me drag and drop this one here, click and image, configure grid. I want this to be 16 pixels so that I could go and view this one, maximize, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Okay, so we have this one here, that's fine. Yeah, I don't like how this one looks, how the spaceship looks like. It looks stupid, although it's better than before, but anyway. Yeah, so maybe I will make this a little bit black or something, right? Yeah, I'm not sure that is in the middle, so I'll just, you know, remove one extra pixel as well. Where is it? And there you go. Oops, delete, and now I will click it again, click. So we have these guys. So the tail was black for some reason, whatever. Anyway, so now what are we gonna do is the enemy, right? So for the enemy, I'm gonna copy parts of this one. Okay, because I am lazy. And where is the flip? There was something for flipping things, right? It's this one. Okay, I wonder where the other options, why did the other options go away? This is crazy. come on. I wonder why, but anyway, it seems like I'll have to rotate this manually, so oops, come on, I can't win this. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I might need to reinstall GIMP to solve the issue. Oops, very stupid of me. The angle 90, I think. Yeah, I could do yes. Yeah, rotate. Okay, now it's working. That's good. So what am I gonna do here? Let me move this. So this is gonna be the first one. Okay, click, and I'm gonna copy this. Click, right, Control V. Wait a second. Maybe this. Okay. It is something stupid. I'll replace later, but for now, let me just make it. Anyway, I want. And next, I will just copy this. V. Okay, good. Control V. Good. Good. Yeah, let's assume that this is the enemy, although it's super stupid, but whatever. Let's just assume that, and in order to let me go here, color and colorize. Let me choose something that is kind of red. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So okay, click, file, and overwrite. Okay, so now let's assume that this is the enemy spaceship. So now we are going to create a sprite for that. Okay, so let us go back here. I need to go to the Android project. Let me go to assets, right click and refresh. Where's the refresh button? Or sync assets. There you go. Now let us create the enemy sprite. So here I'm gonna say a new Java class. I'm gonna say 3-head spaceship. Okay, so this is the first enemy. I will call it 3-head spaceship because it has 3 heads. Something stupid, but whatever. Okay, so now instead of me worrying about retyping things, I will just go to this one and I am gonna copy what is inside the class. So copy this and let me go, where is that? 3-head spaceship, there you go. Enter, Control V, and OK. Now the error I'm getting here is because the constructor name should match the class name. So now the spaceship texture should start at a location that is different. So instead of 4 or block number 4, so this is block number 4, I need to add 3 to it because this one's occupying 3, so I'll add 3 to that. This is going to be block number 7. Okay, and that should be it. Now I'll make this one use the angle, right, and this dot angle wait a second, before I do that, I didn't make it extends what sprite. There you go. So this dot angle, this dot angle equals 0 for now, right? And I need to set the absolute distance. So first let me see the absolute. Now the y, let me make this equals to the very top here. So g01 game dot virtual height. I don't want it to appear on top of the player. I want to have some distance. So use angle true, and now this dot absolute speed equals, let's say 30 or something like that, right? So now, since I am doing this, right, oh wait a second, I'll make it 100, absolute speed 100, whatever. So now we have this, so let me create an object of this one and show you what is gonna happen. Okay, so let me go to G01, and where is the, okay, here, test sprites. Okay, so now we have three-headed spaceship SH1 and SH2 semicolon. So we have now two enemy spaceships, and obviously I need to initialize them. So now I will just say SH1 equals a new three-headed spaceship semicolon, and SH2 equals a new three-headed spaceship. Okay, now I will say sh1.x x equals let's say 100, and sh2.x equal 200, and sh2.y equals 300. Okay, I want to change these. Next, after that, I'll go and render them. So I'm rendering the sprite here, the player here. Next, I will render enemies. So sh1.render render sprite. I will pass the badge here. Okay, CVD. Okay, so there's going to be SH1 and SH2. The B should be small, the B should be small. Okay, there you go. So now I should be able to, you know, see the spaceships. Let's see. Okay, so this is the first one. I think I made the other one go out of screen, so I'll need to see where did I put it. Oh, so here as h2 as h1.y equals what, 300, something like that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now we have these two guys, right? So we have these two, and so far they are not moving, and the reason for that is I did not call the update method. So all I have to do here, update. So I'll just say as h1.update I pass time span. There you go. Same thing goes for the next one. Now we'll do something very interesting in a second. Just bear with me, please. Okay, so you can see now that these two spaceships are moving to the right, and the reason is that their angle, right? So what am I gonna do right now? I will do the following. I will just say sh1 dot angle equals sh1 dot angle plus, let's say 1, and multiply this by what, time span, there you go. Make it 30 degrees per second, something like that. And sh2.angle equal sh2.angle minus. Okay, so we should see something different now. Okay, so you can see now these two spaceships are starting to rotate, you know, at different angles, right? So I suppose this is okay and it makes sense. Now the problem with this, the problem with what is going on here is that they are still facing, you know, the same direction. Maybe you want to see them, the sprite itself rotate, right? So let's go back here. So this is our standard draw method, right? So I remember I've seen something about rotation, right? So you can see here the last one, after you provide the width and the XY, you need to provide the width and height and scale XY and rotation, right? So here I'm gonna say this guy here, get width, right? This guy here, get height, and I will pass angle here. Okay, so I am passing the angle and this should be it. Let me see, let me check this one. Why? Let me see again. Come on, show me. Just showed me the error and then it disappeared. This until sense is annoying. So we have a texture, then a float, int, and a float. So we have the texture, float, this is int, and then a float. So this is okay. So I suppose these are not returning integers, right? So this is why it's being confused. So cast this to integer, cast this to integer, please. Oh, come on. What about this? The X here. Okay. What about the angle here? Oh, I think this is not a float. So make this integer. Sorry, cast this to float, I suppose. Come on. Bah. Don't seem to know what is going on. So let me see. Draw. We have what? Okay. Let's have a look again at the constructor. This is the problem with overloading. When there are many functions, you need to put the exact data type. So, you know, you get frustrated with this. So, oh, come on. Snipping tool. So I'll use the snipping tool. Okay. Oh, come on. Oh, I'll use print screen. Print screen. There you go. I got it. So, yeah. Paint. Use paint and Control V. So now, what do we have? We have a texture, float, int, float. Maybe this is a problem. So let's see the other constructors. So, okay. So here, what do we have? We have again a print screen. So let me go here and file, new one, don't save, Control V. Okay, so now I can see, I can look at this and see what's going on. Yeah, this is why I hate overloading, because it wastes your time for nothing. So we need to specify, okay, if we look at this one, let me mark it for you guys. We want something that have rotation in it. Sorry, not this one, but this one. Okay, so we want this. Okay, so this is the one that we must focus on. So the first parameter is the texture region. So this is the texture region. There you go. Next, the second parameter, so let's mark this. We finished that. Second parameter is x and third is y, both floats. So here we have x followed by y, and they're both floats, right? I know that. So here it doesn't show to me what this is, but anyway, so we finished the xy. Now the origin x and origin y, oh, this is y. So 0 0 followed by the width and height. So spaceship texture get width and spaceship texture get height, followed by scale x, this is one, scale y, and finally a rotation, which is angle. There you go, and close and semicolon finally. Right, I suppose this is it, so we don't need this one anymore. Don't save it. Let's see. So we have this one. Okay, so now it is showing me the parameters. Great. Anyway, so this is what we need. Let's run this game and see what happens. Okay, so the rotation is working, but it should be the reverse. Okay, the rotation should be in reverse direction. So let me put a minus here and see if it works. Now this is not it. This is still the same issue. Now this makes me wonder if this angle need to be a radian. So let's have a look here. Come on, dude. Now open this one. So here the float rotation, this is very confusing. Okay, let me just try this. So I will divide by 180 and multiply it by math.pi. There you go. And this need to be a float. Okay, so we cast this to float so that doesn't see it as double. Okay. Okay, so now it's gonna work. So let's see. Maybe it need to be, the angle need to be in a radian. So okay, obviously not. Obviously this is not what I need right now. So I suppose the angle need to be, okay, let me put this one minus. Okay, maybe I'll stop them and see what's going on. You know what? Let me stop this for a second. Well, the basic idea works, but the calculation, there are problems with the calculation. So now what am I gonna do is change the absolute speed for the first one and the second one. So sh1 dot absolute speed, this is gonna equal to 0. Okay, or maybe make it 10 or something like that. As for the second one, make it 10 as well. So now we can see both of them. Yeah, so instead of this, I will assume that it should rotate 90 degrees per second or something like that. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so now it is rotating in the wrong direction. Okay, one last thing. I will make the speed equal to 0 instead of 10. Maybe this will reveal something. So let's see. Oh, I see. Okay. I know what the problem is. So basically, the rotation is happening at the point 0, 0. This is why we are having this very weird behavior. Let me see if I could solve this. So instead of origin being 0, this is gonna be get width divided by 2, right? And this is gonna be this guy get height divided by 2 as well, right? Okay, now you can see that they are not moving, they are stationary in their position, and all is, you know, now all makes sense. So let me change this. So if I'm increasing the angle, so they should both, you know, before that, where is it? Where is our friend here? So where's the part where we update? Okay, so the first spaceship will be spinning, the other one will have the angle of 0. So I want to see the direction of 0. Okay, so this is now something I'm comparing against. Okay, so 0, this is accurate, and now since I'm increasing it, what is happening is that it is rotating like that, right? So if I increase the speed, the absolute speed here, where is it? Where is our friend here? Yeah, the first one, I will make it 30. Yeah, maybe I need to increase this a little bit. So instead of 30, make it 200 or something like that. Because I think I'm rotating this a little bit too fast. Okay. Now what this is telling me is that I am the, oh, I see. Now what I assume now is the following, that this need to be rotated. I need to add a 90-degree angle to the rendering of the sprite itself. Okay, so if I go and add 90 to this one, I think I will solve the problem. Okay, and it seems that this solved the problem. So now this is working fine. Now let's test this and see if it works in all cases. So let's go back to our game, and let's go to the initialization. So what are the speeds here? So instead of 100, 200, I use 100 for both. And let me see, where is the change in angle? There you go. So this is the first angle, this is the second angle. This is gonna be minus. Okay, and obviously I need to make sure here if sh1.angle is greater than 360, then sh1.angle minus equals 360, so that it doesn't go beyond what's allowed. And if sh2 is smaller than 0, at that very point as h2 is equal the same angle at 360, so that it's still in the normal range. You don't get overflow after a while. So let's see and hope it works. Okay, so both are working well, which is very awesome. Now let's make this a little bit more cooler. Okay, more cooler by allowing the angle to change. Okay, so we already did what we planned to do, but now this a little thing just to show you what we are capable of. So since we created this very simple system, I will do the following. I will just say public static, or let's say public int v equal 10, right? So here what am I gonna do is the following. Maybe instead of 10 make it 90. Okay, so where's our friend here? So here we are gonna use v, and this is gonna be v. Okay, so now I will say if v is greater than, wait a second, the one other thing, public and v2 equal, let's say 5, or maybe make it 10. 10? No, make it 5. Make it 5. Okay, so here I will just say v equal v. Now v will represent angle change, so v equals v plus v2. Now if v is greater than 90, v2 equals minus v2. Okay, and now if v is smaller than minus 90, and v2 equal minus v2. Okay, so this will make the spaceship change angle back and forth. So let's see what we get now. Hopefully some awesome motion. So you can see, right? We can actually increase this a little bit. So instead of what was the initial value for v, instead of 5, I'll make it 10. Okay, so that the rotation will be sharp, and here instead of 90 I'll make it 120, 120, something like that. So let's see, check this out. Okay, so I will make this a little bit slower. So yeah, something like that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we managed to make some cool movement here. Okay, so I suppose this looks nice. So we managed to create a sprite for the player. We also managed to create a sprite for the enemy here. Okay, and all things get updated accordingly. Not only that, we now can move the enemy based on vectors and have it rotate. So all looks good, all looks nice. So yeah, that will be all for today. So tomorrow what are we gonna do is we are gonna see how we can add motion to the enemy so that they could move, like for example, let's say something like Space Invader or something like that. We are gonna add a script, something like a script that will tell the enemy how to move from where to where. And you know, hopefully you'll find this useful, and later on we will see how we can shoot lasers. Yeah, so that will be all for today. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Bye bye.